Welcome to today's video. Today I'm gonna be ranking a bunch of supernatural ships, specifically Sam Winchester ships. I'm not a huge supernatural shipper. I only have like a couple that I really like, but me personally, I think viewing supernatural like through the lens of a ship, or like seeing these characters in a romantic lens, I think trying to do like textual analysis of the show simply through the lens of your favorite ship, I think is missing the forest for the trees. You know, I think there's so much to talk about in Supernatural that has nothing to do with any romantic relationships, and there aren't really many like real actual romantic relationships in the show. But I do think that relationships between the characters and seeing how those two connect with each other and how they fit into the world of Supernatural is my favorite thing to analyze and one of my favorite parts of the show. So I thought, what better way to, really get nitty-gritty with some of these specific relationships than through the world of shipping. So that's what this video is. It's more specifically focused on Sam ships because I prefer Sam to any other character in the show. I think he is profoundly compelling to me. I may do other characters, like I may do Dean ones and I may do Cass ones. I don't know, we'll see. So the original tier list that I found had a lot less characters, so I added quite a few, but I'll link the like original one down below if you want to do that one yourself, and you can add whoever you want. But let's go over the ranking system I'm going to be using for this video. So at the very bottom we have Boo Boo Tomato Tomato. Now these are ships that I actively dislike, or are just actively terrible. Next up we have ID Gaff, which is ships that like are okay, like I get it, I'm just kind of bored. They just sort of exist, and that's okay. Next on the list is #cuteness Everdeen, which are just ships I think are nice, you know. There's not much else. It's nice. It's nice for Sam to be loved by this person, in my imagination. Next up we have Blurry Wife. Now I think you would imagine that Blurry Wife would be higher, but the tier above it is Losing It. And Losing It, to me, Losing It is for ships that genuinely make me lose my mind. I don't know if I have many. Maybe there's like one on this list that I would put here, but really this is for ships that make me go insane. Whether I think they would be good together or not has nothing to do with this specific tier. So with that out of the way, let's begin with the big one. I would feel disingenuous not putting this on the list because I think it is the biggest Sam Winchester ship in the fandom. I'm not going to say the official name for this ship because I think I will get exploded by YouTube, but it's Samdean, pairing between brothers Sam Winchester and Dean Winchester. To give these people the benefit of the doubt, within Supernatural, Sam and Dean's relationship is the most important part of the show. The core of the show is these two brothers. The story is about the relationship between Sam and Dean and the entire Winchester family, and family cycles and trauma being passed down from fathers to sons and sons to brothers. And Sam and Dean's relationship is intensely interesting. There's a mix of like true love, but then also codependency, and Dean is simultaneously Sam's brother, but also a pseudo-parent, especially after John dies. And there's this power struggle and power imbalance throughout the entire show as Sam attempts to sort of rebel against Dean, and Dean just tries his hardest to keep Sam safe, but Sam feels trapped by these sort of limits that Dean is putting on him in his expression. So I do understand why people ship this. Sam and Dean are the core of the show, so I do understand it. And there's more jokes in this show about Sam and Dean in somewhat of a romantic relationship than you might think. There's those two gay men in a relationship that cosplay as Sam and Dean in that one episode. It is everywhere throughout the show. For me personally, I can't get past the brother thing. That's just, and I think that's how most people feel about this ship. They're brothers, man, you know, and especially as a sibling myself, I can't get past the idea of siblings in any kind of relationship that isn't platonic. And I think Sam and Dean's relationship is still intensely interesting even as a platonic relationship, and maybe even more so. I have to put Samdean at the bottom. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. I can't get past the brother thing. That's just the main thing. And that is part of the ship. Like, it is the allure of the ship, the taboo of it all. And that is the point. But I can't get behind it. So, they're going at the bottom. Okay, next up we have Sam Winchester and the Archangel Gabriel, otherwise known as Sabriel. Now, I know Sabriel has a lot of shooters. I know there's a lot of people that really love these two. I just don't understand it. Like, Sam and Gabriel, they do interact, and they do have, like, a nice bonding moment in the later seasons when Sam is, like fixing Gabriel up in that one episode, and they have, like, a heart-to-heart. So, they do have a relationship. They have a kind of relationship, and they have, like, witty banter with each other. But I do feel like that's just how everyone in Supernatural talks. They're always, like, making little jabs at angels, and the angels are doing the same thing to them. Like, that's kind of how it is. I don't know. Other than their kind of relationship and the fact that they end up friendly with each other, I don't really understand it. And from what I've heard, from what I believe, I'm pretty sure that Sabriel was only thought up in order to give Sam an angel to be shipped with, because Dean is obviously being shipped with Sastiel, and so people were like, let's not leave Sam out, let's just give him an angel to be shipped with, and they picked Gabriel because, you know, he's the one that he has a friendly relationship with. The height difference, you know, aesthetically I kind of see it. They have contrasting personalities. So I do understand why people ship it. Me personally, I really don't care. So they're going in ID gaff. I can't get into it. I don't see the allure. I don't see the appeal. I don't see why so many people are obsessed with this ship. It's just sort of to me. But that's alright. Next up, we have a really stupid one. Sam and Velma of Scooby-Doo. For some reason, the writers decided to make Velma Dinkley intensely in love with Sam Winchester. And I have a couple big problems with this. Number one, Velma Dinkley is the lesbianest lesbian to ever lesbian in the history of lesbians. I think in a lot of modern retellings of Scooby-Doo, Velma is, like, explicitly queer. But I think, like, lesbian Velma Dinkley is, like, a recent interpretation that a lot of people, including me, have adopted. I really like that interpretation of the character, and so that's true to my heart. So then shipping her with a man is already weird. And then it gets double weird with the fact that she is fully 16 years old. Like, this is Scooby-Doo. She's famously a teenager. And for some reason, the writers of Supernatural love making teenagers in love with the boys. They love making young women who are too young for these characters really into the Winchesters. And while Dean seems to not really care, I mean, he's actively going after Daphne in this episode, who is also 16. But Sam, like, vehemently rejects her. Do they kiss at the end of Scooby-Natural? Do Velma and Sam kiss at the end of Scooby-Natural? I hope that's not true. If it's not, I'm editing this part out. But I don't see it. Velma's gay and a child, and Sam has morals, so I'm putting in boo. I don't know if there are people that genuinely ship the two of them, but I know there's, like, a Supernatural wiki, and I believe she's in his list of, like, romantic relationships. There's so many better interpretations of Sam Winchester and Velma Dinkley being paired together, and the way Scooby-Natural decided to do it was so weird. I don't know why they decided to do that. Alright, moving on, we have a ship that started out kind of niche, I think it's gotten a little bit bigger in recent years, but Sammandy is the ship between Sam Winchester and Andy, oh goodness, I forget his last name, I'm so sorry, one of Azazel's special children, along with Sam. And I do see why people ship this. I do like it. I think aesthetically they work well together. I think, you know, Andy's small, Sam is tall. They're both psychics. They both already immediately have a trauma bond because the both of them being Azazel's special children. So they already have a really intense thing in common, and it's something that Sam felt othered for most of his life. To meet people that have the exact same thing in common with him, I mean, number one, that must feel so good to feel like you're not crazy and there's other people going through the exact same thing. And especially Andy. Andy's a really fun character. He was only in Supernatural for a really short time, but he made an impression on a good amount of people. There's a lot of really big Andy fans out there. He's funny. He has this like fake bravado whenever he uses his psychic powers, but then when they don't work on Sam, he freaks out because like his psychic powers are the only strength he has, while Sam is like a 6'5" buff monster. So I think their interactions when like the two of them first meet each other are really fun. And then when Sam and Andy are with the other special children in like Azazel's weird little camp thing, Sam the entire time is like trying to get them to rally together, and Andy is like on his side. Like the other people are kind of on his side, but like they also don't want to die, so they're like, you know, they're not really wanting to go along with Sam trying to be the hero and trying to lead the charge. But Andy's by his side most of the time until, you know, they kill him. But Andy and Sam have a pretty good connection, even though it's small and it's short-lived. I do understand why people ship it. I don't have any reason to dislike them. I think it's fun. So I'm putting them in cuteness Everdeen. I think they're fun. I think they're silly. Alright, next there's Sam and Becky Rosen. I don't know if they have an official ship name. Oh, Becky Rosen. What a character. Becky spends the entire show obsessed with Sam and Dean, specifically Sam, because Sam is her favorite, so in that way we're kind of twinning. But Becky, in the episode this picture is from, is like actively like magically drugging Sam into being with her. And in this episode she like ties him up on the bed and is like assaulting him the entire time. Like, it's a really weird episode, and it's played for laughs, as like Assault and Supernatural often is, especially when it's toward the boys. But like, she's a weirdo. She gets Aaron Burr to give her like magic roofies to kidnap Sam Winchester. Like, that's what this episode is. It's so weird, and I dislike her. And I also think it's really mean-spirited, because obviously Becky Rosen is supposed to be a stand-in for the audience of Supernatural. Like, she reads the books, and she loves the characters, she loves the boys, she's in love with Sam, and then when she meets him in real life, she, like, loses it, and is this, like, obsessive stalker. And that's how the Supernatural writers perceive their fans. Every episode that involves, like, writers commentating on Supernatural fans is so incredibly mean-spirited. And I do kind of understand why they would sort of dislike these kinds of fans, because Supernatural is a show written by straight white men, about straight white men, for straight white men, and then Tumblr got their hands on it, and now everyone's gay. And that's never what this show was supposed to be about. So I understand why, you know, maybe as writers you would dislike these fans turning your series into something it was never meant to be. But also, as soon as the art is out to the public, an audience can interpret your art however they want to. And it doesn't mean they should be like harassing writers or harassing the actors, which is that did happen within the Supernatural fandom. But I think it's unfair to imply that your fans are insane for like having the opinions that they do. It is a fair commentary to say that they are very parasocial with the actors and believe that the writers are supposed to bend to the fans' will, and if they're not, then they just don't understand their own show. But I think portraying your fans with this like crazy obsessive stalker girl who is actively taking advantage of the main character, I think that's weird. I think that's mean. I don't like Becky. This episode is strange. I don't know why Aaron Burr is in it. I'm putting it in boo, tomato, tomato. Oh, Sam and Amelia. Look at this little family photo. Sam and Amelia, it's a really interesting relationship because it comes at a really strange time in Sam Winchester's life. She shows up in Sam's life after season 7. Dean is lost in purgatory. Sam has no way of knowing exactly where he is, but he just knows that his brother is missing and is gone. And Kevin is still reading the angel tablets and trying to figure out what that says. And angels and demons alike are like both after Kevin, and Dean is gone. And the Leviathans happened and everything with Godcast happened. And in season 8, we learn that Sam, after all of that, decided that now was the time to get out of hunting and try and start a new life. And he meets this girl named Amelia because he accidentally hits her dog, and that's how they like meet, and that's where their bond starts. And I think a lot of things about their relationship. I think the two of them in a vacuum, I do like them. I think Amelia and Sam's relationship is really sweet. I think it's the closest Sam gets to living like functionally living like, you know, the white picket fence apple pie life they always talk about in this show. And I like Amelia. I think she's a nice girl. I think she's a nice character. And I like the dog. I like that he has this cute little family, and this like every flashback to Sam with Amelia is like saturated and it looks like beautiful and perfect, and he's living this like ideal life. But the thing about Sam and Amelia's relationship is that it is not perfect, and it could never be perfect. It could never be what Sam needs, because he is still actively running away from at least his responsibility to protect Kevin. I think whether Sam should have gone to chase after Dean, I think is debatable. Dean said, "Don't go looking for me," essentially. "You don't need to bring me back, just let me die." And then Sam does that, and then Dean comes back and gets mad at him for doing that. Because Dean thought Sam would do what Dean always does, which is not listen to him. Anytime Sam has asked Dean to let him die, Dean just doesn't listen. Because he can't live without Sam. Because the way Dean shows love is by bringing you back over and over again and choosing you over and over again. While the way Sam shows love and respect is by listening and trusting you. And if Dean said that he didn't want Sam to go bring him back, then Sam's not going to bring him back. And I don't think it's a bad thing that he did that. But again, I do think his reasons for not doing that and not taking care of Kevin are they're selfish reasons, because he is scared and afraid, and he's been through so much, and he's just tired, and he doesn't want to do it anymore. But unfortunately, he has, Kevin Tran, he's just a kid, you know? He's similar to Sam in the way that he was chosen out of no fault of his own, and then his entire world was turned upside down. He didn't even get to go to college. He finished his SAT and then was taken by God, or so, chosen by God, and then taken by the Winchesters, and now he's here, and he's locked in this bunker, and Sam just hasn't answered his phone. And I think that all of that context is brought into Sam and Amelia's relationship. And that's why every time it flashes back, it feels so dreamlike and mystical, because Sam was actively trying to pretend like everything else that happened never happened, and he was trying to pretend that he doesn't need to go hunting and he can just live his life with this girl. This was his like last grasp at this ideal life that he's wanted since he was a kid. And this is his last chance before he's accepted that it's never going to happen. And then Amelia comes in at the perfect time, and he's like, great, this is my out. She can be my excuse for getting away from all of this. I'm not sure where to put Sam and Amelia's relationship, because with the surrounding context of their relationship, there's so much to think about, but a lot of it isn't about her. You know what I mean? Like, it's mostly about Sam and his shit. I think if Amelia were replaced with any other random woman, I think I would feel the same way about their relationship. But I do think Sam, specifically with Amelia, like with that kind of person, I think the scenes between them are very sweet, even if, like, we don't get a lot about who exactly she is and how she feels about Sam and their specific relationship, because we only get flashbacks as Sam's explaining to Dean why he didn't look for him and why he abandoned Kevin. But I do just like in a vacuum, I do really like their relationship. I think this photo is really sweet. I'm gonna put them here. Because I think they're cute. I think they're sweet. I think aesthetically they look nice together. They both have beautiful long hair, and they have a beautiful long-haired dog. Like, I think it's wonderful. Alright, now we have a ship that I actually didn't know existed, but looking back, it does make sense. Sam and Gadriel. Now, initially, I really didn't understand why people shipped this, because I didn't think, like, Sam and Gadriel, like, had that much of a relationship. Because I think Gadriel mostly interacts with Dean, obviously, because he is possessing Sam, and Sam doesn't know that he's there or exists at all. And I think a lot of it is because Sam and Gadriel's stories are, like, somewhat similar. I think they both have the idea of, like, failing your father and being the scapegoat of the family, being tricked by Lucifer. Gadriel was the guardian of the Garden of Eden, and Lucifer tricked him into letting him into the Garden of Eden, which essentially caused the downfall of man and everything, and Lucifer falling and being cast out of heaven, which led to the Michael and Lucifer having to fight, and essentially the reason Supernatural has happened, everything goes back to this one guy. And then everyone gets pissed at him and blames him and hates him, and then they throw him in a cage. And then when Gadriel gets out, his main goal is to redeem himself and prove that he is worthy and that he is sorry for his mistake and he's never going to do it again. And I think Sam, similarly, has been treated how Gadriel was. I mean, obviously, the both of them were tricked by Lucifer into letting them in, Gadriel to the Garden of Eden and Sam into himself. Sam was also tricked into letting Lucifer out of hell in the first place, and then was intensely blamed for being, manipulated by everyone around him. He was also thrown in a cage by people he respected. Sam was also blamed and shamed by Dean and by Bobby, and then by angel after angel and demon after demon make fun of him for opening the gates of hell. And then the both of them spend the rest of their lives trying to atone for this sin. So I do see the parallels between Sam and Gadriel because of how similar they are. I think part of Gadriel sees himself in Sam. And Gadriel has this line, he says, like, he has seen into Sam's soul, and it's like, it's raw and it's vile. Sam is like, from the inside out, he is unclean, he is unholy or whatever. And Gadriel can see all of that in him. But Gadriel is basically Sam, or similar enough to Sam, but an angel. So I think their similarity, but then the complete difference of Gadriel being this, like, big, huge, I mean, he's an angel, he was the guardian of the Garden of Eden, and Sam was just a young boy when he had demon blood put in him. And then that cycle of possession and Sam's lack of body autonomy is repeated again through Gadriel's presence. So I think the two, like, contrasting and comparing the two characters is really interesting. But I don't see the two of them ever, like, being able to reconcile that. And I don't know if Sam and Gadriel, like, the two of them, ever have a sort of rapport. So that I'm really confused on where to put them, because I don't necessarily see them romantically together, like, at all. But I think the two of them, especially them being in one body, which is Sam's, I think all of that is really interesting, and there's so much to think about. I think I have to put it in losing it. Just because, like, I said, this tier isn't exactly for, like, it doesn't mean I, like, actually do ship it or not. It's just thinking about them is so intensely interesting to me. And that's how I feel about these two characters. So I think this is the first losing it of the episode. Get excited. Okay, now we have Sam and Azazel. Or Sam and the Yellow White Demon. I don't like it. Again, I think comparing these two characters is extremely interesting, especially since both of them are kind of John Winchester in a weird way. They're like both John Winchester parallels, but then Sam is also Mary, and he's sort of repeating exactly what he did to Mary to Sam through John, and Mary thought he was John at Sam's crib, so then there's like that parallel between Azazel and John, and then we have Sam, who is repeated over and over again to be exactly like John, but also hates John, and John is the reason he was hunting and in this mess in the first place, and everything with Azazel and the Winchesters is extremely interesting to me, because Azazel comes in, and then essentially Sam and Dean and Mary and John, and then if we go even further down, we have Jack, and all of them repeat the same cycles over and over and over again. And that's what interests me so much about this show. But the two of them specifically, in any sort of like relationship context, is so gross to me. Because he like violated Sam Winchester when he was a newborn. And I understand like people enjoy like dark taboo ships, but that's not me. I'm not a huge fan of things like that, so we're going boo, tomato, tomato. Okay, next up is this. It's really unclear, like in this photo that I picked, but this is, I'm gonna put the name of the ship on the screen. I'm also afraid of saying that, for the same reasons I was afraid of saying this one, but it's basically any version of Sam shipped with himself. This photo is specifically from the episode The Man Who Knew Too Much, where Sam is like in his head and he's fighting like three different versions of himself, or two different versions of himself. So it's Sam versus Soulless Sam versus Cage Sam, and like that part of his brain, they're all represented by like different people, and he has to like, you know, travel through his mindscape in order to like put the pieces of himself back together again. I think it's a pretty cool episode. But yeah, I don't know how to interpret this ship, because things that are tagged like this, it's always like, a lot of the time it's like normal Sam and Soulless Sam, but then it's also like there's Soulless Sam and like Hell Sam, and then Hell Sam and normal Sam. There's so many different Sam Winchesters and so many different combinations you could do. And I always think like mirror shipping is pretty interesting, like shipping a version of a character with themselves, like with Chris Deltarune, for example. I see the appeal if you're like physically attracted to Sam Winchester or Jared Padalecki, and you just want to see two people who look like Sam kissing. Like, I get that, but like textually and like with fanfic, I think it would be a cool way to explore Sam's relationship to himself and to these different parts of himself, because he spends a lot of the show suppressing a lot of things, and the idea of we see it in the episode The Man Who Knew Too Much, two different versions of Sam connecting and talking about the same life that they've both lived, but from two different perspectives, and like coming to a conclusion based on that. I think it could either be like really healing for Sam to like discuss the things he went through with someone who understands it so intimately, which is just himself again, but I think it could also be like a good venue for like angst, like just Sam gaslighting another version of himself, but he doesn't think he's doing that. That's just how he views it, because Sam seems to downplay a lot of the stuff he went through. So then to see two versions of Sam just like downplaying their shared trauma, I think that could be interesting. I don't know. I think I'm gonna put it in IDGAF, because I don't have a really strong opinion on this. Like, some of the art is cool, but like I don't know. I don't think there's much in this like ship idea, or like these mirror ships that interest me very much. Sam Winchester and Amy Pond from it's not After School Special. I'll put the name of the title for the episode on the screen. And everything about this episode is really interesting to me, especially, how Dean treats this monster, and then in relation to how he could possibly feel about Sam, because Sam was, like, infected with demon blood, and, he has, like, psychic powers. Like, he is also he is also an other. So how Dean feels about Amy Pond is contradictory and hypocritical to how he feels about Sam. He thinks Sam is different. He's not like these other monsters because he's his brother. And then, Sam believes, like, no, she hasn't killed anyone. She is living her own life on, like, purposefully to not have to hurt a human. And the only reason she did is because her child was sick. And if Dean was in that situation, he would absolutely do the exact same thing. So it's unfair of Dean to judge Amy in the way that he is, and then Dean kills her without telling Sam, because he knows Sam would be pissed that he sort of unjustifiably, or at least in Sam's mind it's unjustified, killed Amy. And the flashbacks to the two of them, like, meeting each other and bonding over feeling outcasted, it's just so sweet. They have a really sweet relationship, and it's a really cool episode. It's a really thought-provoking episode. The idea of, like, Sam being a monster and then contrasted with, like, a quote-unquote actual monster that Amy is. I don't remember what exactly. I think she's not the kitsune. That'd be crazy. But Amy is not a human, and Sam has demon blood inside him. He doesn't know it yet, but he has demon blood, and he's a psychic, and he feels other within his family, and he feels that darkness inside him. So then it's similar to Sam and Andy, just the way that the two of them connect over this similar being outcasted and being in, like, being neglected by their caregiver, and moving a lot. This is the first, like, connection we see of, like, Sam finding somebody to relate to in that way, other than, like, his English teacher and after school special, and that kid that he protects from being bullied. This is, like, the biggest relationship we see in Sam's childhood, and I think Sam and Amy are really cute. I think I'm gonna put her a blurry wife. I think if she lived, and obviously if Dean and then John didn't show up to, like, kill her mother when back in the past when this was happening, I think the two of them could have been, like, a really sweet, like, childhood friends to lovers type thing. I think it could be really cute. I think the two of them get along quite well. I really like this episode, and I really like the two of them. So, first blurry wife contender of the ranking. Okay, next up we have Sam and Sarah Blake. She is the daughter of the man whose estate was selling, like, it was in the episode Providence, I believe. His estate was attached to, like, a cursed object, so they, like, a cursed painting, I believe. The Winchesters spent a lot of time at this estate with her, and the two of them bonded. I believe this might be one of the first, like, romantic relationships we see Sam have, like, with another character. Maybe Lori was first. Maybe she was first, but Sarah Blake was around the same time. And in this one, they go on a date. He seems to really connect with her. They kiss in the episode. Like, I think this is the first, like, really chance at a relationship that Sam gets after Jessica. And I think the two of them together, I think they're sweet. She clearly really liked him, and I do think he really liked her. And at the end of the episode, Dean is like, we can stay if you want. Like, I know you want to have a chance at this, like, apple pie life, and you deserve to be able to have relationships with other people and try and live at least sort of normal. Sam, hell-bent on finding this demon and finding his dad, he says no and he leaves. I believe also because, he thinks that her being with him is going to get her killed. Which, I mean, as we know throughout the show, it kind of does. Like, most of the women that Sam has any sort of relationship with, they end up dying. So I think it's a really bittersweet story, but I really like the two of them. I think they're cute. I think, I might put her at Blurry Wife. They didn't, like, it was a very brief connection that the two of them had, but when, like, that scene of them at dinner together, it was just so, I don't think any other, like, Sam kind of love interest, like, one that isn't really, like, followed up on in the show, just like a one-off, one-episode love interest. I don't think any of them, like, are actually kind of pursued. I mean, I know Sam takes her out to, like, distract her so Dean can go into the estate, I believe, is what happens, but they still, like, go out and they talk, and he really likes her, and they laugh and they bond. And I think in a completely different world, Sam and her would have worked, but because of, just being a hunter and all of Sam's history in the context of Supernatural, it would never could. Sam and Cara, I'm not sure how to pronounce her name. She shows up in one episode of this show, and they sleep together, and then he never sees her again. I'm putting them in orange. They don't really do anything. We don't learn much about her. They have a nice conversation, and they flirt, and that's cool. It's good for Sam to get out like that, I guess. But that's about it. I don't know many people who genuinely ship these two outside of just this episode. It's going in orange. Sam and Sastiel. These two are the only Sam ship that I feel very passionate about, and I felt very passionate about when I made this. I really like them. They're top tier. I think with Sam's relationship to religion versus how the angels treat them is really interesting, and then Sastiel sort of falling from grace as an angel, paralleled to Sam falling from grace as a human and becoming closer to a demon during season 4, while Sastiel becomes more of a human during season 4. The two of them growing together to overcome their differences and disagreements. Cass viewing Sam as unholy when Sam is so excited to meet these beings that he's been praying to for most of his life. I think Sam and Cass's relationship is really interesting. They're my favorite duo in the entire show. They don't do it often, but I like when the two of them go on hunts together. I think it's funny when Cass is really awkward and Sam tries to reach out emotionally because that's what he always does. I know Cass and Dean technically have a stronger bond, as is said in the show, but I don't care. I really like these two together. The angst of Sam being destined to hell and having demon blood in him his entire life and falling in love with this holy heavenly figure who himself has fallen from grace. I like that. I think that's a really cool dynamic. I think about them a lot and I really like them a lot, so they're going at the top of my list in losing it. This next ship I had never heard of before. It's Sam and Balthazar. I don't really know exactly why people ship this. I'm not exactly sure where it came from, and I also don't really see it. Balthazar isn't in the show long enough to have a really meaningful relationship with either Dean or Sam. The few times we see him, he is being antagonistic, of course, because he is an angel, and the angels really don't like the Winchesters most of the time. I don't see enough in their dynamic as interesting, and so they're going in orange because I don't really care about the two of them. And I don't know if anyone really passionately ships them. If you do, please comment why, because I'm really curious. Next is a ship that I thought was pretty niche, but I think it's getting a bit more traction. Sam x Brady. Now, Brady is a character we technically never meet in Supernatural. We only see his body being puppeted by a demon. As we know, Yellow Eyes had demons following Sam throughout his entire life, and one of those demons possessed his friend he made in college, Brady.
According to this demon, Sam and Brady were pretty close at Stanford, and Brady even introduced him to Jess. It seems like Sam and Brady were pretty good friends, and Sam is really shaken up by this demon taking his friend away from him. I really like Sambrady, just because I really like thinking about Sam's Stanford life, as we don't see much of it in the show, only a tiny bit in the pilot, and that's about it. I really like imagining what he was like in college, and what he was up to with Jess and his other friends. And with Brady being a character we technically never meet, you can imagine him to be like anything. I've seen different interpretations of Sam and Brady interacting, and I just think it's cool. I like the idea of Sam opening up and being queer in college and having a relationship with a man. Maybe he was even dating Brady and Jess at the same time. I don't know. There's a lot there, a lot unknown. I think it's pretty cool. I think they're interesting to think about, and I think the angst of Brady at some point completely changing after he's possessed by the demon, and Sam noticing something's up with his friend but not saying anything, and then later finding out why. It's really sad to me, but I think there's a lot there to write about, and there's a lot that's interesting. I'm going to put them in cuteness Everdeen. Even though the photo is Sam standing over Brady, who is bloody and bruised, just imagine them younger and happy, like in a Polaroid that Sam has in a box of Stanford stuff hidden under his bed.
I really like Eileen. This is one of the few canon relationships Sam has within the show, and I really like her. I think Eileen's a really cool character. I think she's a badass, and I think it's great that there's a disabled character being portrayed in this way. She's not spoken down upon. Her deafness isn't the butt of any joke. She just is deaf, and is also really good at hunting. In the episode we meet Eileen, she corners Sam all by herself. It's pretty crazy. And you can tell Sam really loves her. People praise Sam a lot for learning ASL for her, but I think it's kind of a bare minimum, especially when you're dating a deaf person. But it's nice how much he loves her and how much he cares about her, and it's devastating when she dies. But then of course, because it's supernatural, Eileen comes back, and the two of them fall in love all over again. At the end of the show, it's sort of left up in the air what happens to her, because every person they've ever saved gets unsaved, and presumably that includes Eileen, but again, they're never specific about exactly how any of that works and what ramifications it has on the characters we've grown to love. But I really like the two of them. I think it's a really sweet relationship. I think their personalities bounce off each other really well. I'm going to put them at Blurry Wife. I'm going to put them at the top of Blurry Wife, because I think that both of them deserve to be completely and canonically endgame. Samjess. Jess is a character that haunts Sam Winchester for the entire show. From season 1 to season 15, everything is about her. In the final season of the show, Sam even says he still thinks about her regularly. In the episode of Supernatural this screenshot is from, we see a life where Mary never died and they never went hunting, and Sam married Jess. He was gonna be a lawyer and they were gonna live a good life together, until everything was ripped away from him at the last moment. We never get to see a lot of Jess, but from what we do learn about her, she seems like a really cool character. I think it's cute seeing them interact in the pilot. Jess seems to understand him really well. She may not know specifically what Sam went through, with monsters and all that, but it's clear that Sam has opened up to her about how he feels about his family. And it's nice that Sam found someone he felt safe enough to open up to. It's heartbreaking how much Sam blames himself for Jessica's death, even though he couldn't do anything to stop it. He sees her everywhere he goes. Lucifer even knows that she's the key to his heart. I really love the two of them, and I think I'm going to put them at the very top. Sam and Jess, their relationship is just so devastating. I can't help but think about it all of the time. Next up is Sam and Lori Sorensen. Lori is a character that shows up for one episode, season 1's Hookman. Lori is a pastor's daughter, and throughout the episode we learn that her father is responsible for the Hookman murders. She blames herself for all of this happening, for people dying, and she hates that her father is this kind of man. And you can obviously see how Sam could relate to this girl. They both have strong faith, and it helps them keep going even when times get rough. Lori finds solace in a church, and that's when Sam finds her, and they talk about it. Number 2, both Lori and Sam completely blame themselves for things they had no control over, for mistakes that their ancestors made, and that they now have to deal with. And number 3, they both have very strained relationships with their fathers, and that affects how they see themselves and view the world around them.
When Sam talks to Lori, he's very kind and very soft to her. I think these are really nice scenes, and it's sweet seeing the two of them bond. They kiss in this episode, and I believe that she is one of, if not the first, one-episode love interest that Sam has in the series. I really like the two of them. Even though we never see Lori again, I think they could have lived a pretty nice life together if they were in an entirely different situation. I'm gonna put them in green, because I think they're pretty sweet. Samruby is a ship that carries a lot of baggage with it. In a way, Sam and Ruby are two sides of the same coin. One big thing they have in common is faith, and faith that their decisions can change the world, that their choices really matter. Ruby believes that her god Lucifer is telling her the truth, telling her that killing Lilith and letting him out will change the world, and she will be rewarded for it, loved for it. And Sam puts his faith in Ruby, believing that she's telling the truth, that he can get strong enough to save the world, to kill Lilith, and stop Lucifer from escaping. But both of them are wrong. Ruby is obviously lying to Sam, and Ruby is being lied to by Lucifer. She's just used as a pawn. In some ways, both of them are victims, but in a much more obvious way, Ruby is absolutely an abuser. She manipulates and coerces Sam into doing things for her and with her. She spends the entirety of season 4 purposefully and knowingly lying to Sam, knowing that he would never work with her if he knew what she was really planning. Their dynamic is really interesting, and for me, it's the driving force of season 4. It's dark and twisted, but you can't look away. Sam is used and abused by this demon who genuinely thinks she's doing something for the greater good, and he believes he's doing something for the greater good. But both of them are completely wrong, but they keep coming back to each other because they have no other choice. They're absolutely going and losing it. Sam and Ruby's dynamic is so interesting to me, and I think Ruby deserves to get a fair character breakdown. I think most people write her off as completely, entirely evil, which is true, she does suck a lot, but there's so much more to her character than just being terrible, and I think people often brush her off as just an annoying demon, rather than a full-fledged character. I don't know, just something to think about. Next is a ship that I really didn't know existed. I guess it makes sense. It's Sam versus Chuck, but specifically Chuck when he's God, not just, Chuck. The concept of Sam x God is really wild to me. I understand where people are coming from. Obviously, Sam and God have a really weird and interesting relationship. It seems like the Winchesters are Chuck's favorite dolls to play with. He likes putting them in terrible, miserable situations for his enjoyment. And Sam is once again used as a doll and a pawn in a bigger scheme than he could ever imagine. And in season 15, the two of them are literally connected through the God wound. Whatever God feels, Sam feels, and whatever Sam feels, God feels. It's reminiscent of some of the parts I enjoyed with Sastiel, but a lot of the parts I really don't like about Sam and Azazel, for instance. Sam had a true faith in God for a lot of his life. It's what kept him going. And then he meets God, and he finds out that God is actually really, really terrible. He's lost his faith in anything good watching over him, taking care of them, being there to support him through his life. If anything, it's the opposite. God is purposefully putting them through terrible situations for his enjoyment. I think their relationship is really interesting, but as a ship, I really don't like it. I don't see the appeal. I do think God has a weird obsession with the Winchesters, but I think seeing their relationship through a romantic lens is doing a disservice to the writing of this show. I'm gonna put it in red because I just don't really like it. And I feel like it's with ships that have similar reasons for me disliking them. Next is a relationship that I really like, Samwena, aka Sam and Rowena. I really like these two together. They're like opposites attract in a really fun way. Their personalities clash, but they have a lot in common. The two of them really start to bond when they talk about their relationships to Lucifer. Both of them were used and abused by the man, and neither of them feel comfortable talking about it with people in their lives, except for each other. This is the first time for each of them that they felt they had a space to be able to talk about it, even if they don't want to. They have someone who could listen and could actually understand. Sam is a sweet guy, and Rowena likes to push his buttons. I just really like that dynamic. I also think it's really cool that Rowena starts to teach him to do spells and witchcraft. I wish we got more of them doing witchcraft together. I think they're a really nice duo. Plus the tragedy of Sam being the only way Rowena can die. The two of them were destined to know each other in every single universe. I really love the two of them. I love the way they interact with each other. I love the way Rowena treats him. She seems a lot more fond of him than she does of Dee. I'm gonna put them in Blurry Wife. I think if she lived, and ignoring Eileen, I guess, I think they could live a really sweet, witchy life together. Next on this list is Sam and Madison. Madison is another one-episode love interest. She shows up in the season 2 episode Heart, and she's one big Sam parallel. Madison is a werewolf but is unaware. She only turns and kills people in her sleep, but in her daily life she's just a normal person. Dean, of course, wants to kill her because his job is to kill monsters, but Sam wants to give her a chance. He doesn't think she's a monster. She's a person with something really bad in her, something she can't control. Similar to the demon blood inside of him. Something he can't control, something he's unaware of for most of his life. Something that was thrust upon him and now he's forced to deal with. Something that could be really dangerous if it got out of hand. Aside from the obvious connections between the two of them, I really like Sam and Madison. The two of them bond over the course of this episode in a really sweet way. Madison is obviously into him from the get-go. She makes him watch reality shows with him, and he gets really into them. I really like this episode, and I really like the way they did this relationship, especially because at the end, Sam is forced to kill her. They tried to cure her, but it doesn't work. She'll be stuck a werewolf for her entire life, and she can't stop herself from hurting people. In order to save more human lives, they have to kill her, and Madison asks Sam to do it. It's a heartbreaking scene, and Jared and Jensen act the hell out of it. I really love this episode, and I really love these two characters. I think it's a great one-off story. I'm gonna put them in Cuteness Everdeen, because I just do really like the two of them. Next is a ship that I don't even think has a name. Sam Winchester and Jake Talley. Jake is another one of Azazel's special children, but unlike Andy, he's more of an antagonist. At the end of All Hell Breaks Loose Part 2, Sam and Jake fight to the death because Azazel's going to kill one of them. They both have their own reasons to escape, and Jake decides he has to kill Sam in order to get out of there. Sam wins the fight and has Jake pinned down with a knife in his hand, but he drops the knife because that's the kind of person Sam is. He's not going to kill a completely innocent human just for trying to defend their own life and get back out into society with their family, because Sam wants to do the same thing. So he spares Jake, which turned out to be a fatal mistake when Jake literally stabs Sam in the back. It's a heartbreaking scene and says a lot about these two characters. Again, they are two sides of the same coin. They're both in the same situation. Jake wants to get out for his family, and so does Sam, but they both take different paths to getting there. The two of them are presented as foils during All Hell Breaks Loose Part 1 and Part 2, and I think their dynamic is really interesting. I also just think there aren't a lot of black characters in Supernatural, and more of them should be appreciated. So if you didn't ship these two already, maybe rewatch those episodes and start. I think aesthetically the two work well together. Narratively, the two parallel each other in a lot of really cool ways. And I think I'm going to put them at the top, because with Sam and Jake, there's so much to think about. And I think Jake Talley is a really cool character that has gone under the radar for a long time.
Meg and Sam. I like the way that Supernatural, added her into the story, because she's an extension of, the consistent, manipulation of everything in Sam's life. In the episode that this screenshot is from, at least, I don't remember exactly the name of it, but this is when Sam, decides to gain his freedom from Dean and goes to find their father on his own, and he, takes all his stuff and is ready to go out on a bus, and then he sees Meg, and they, connect over, running away from home, and she says things that reflect back onto Sam, and they relate to each other in that way. But then, it turns out it's a further manifestation of Azazel's manipulation of Sam Winchester throughout his entire life. I think, obviously, you can sort of compare, Sam and Meg to Sam and Ruby, but I think with these two, I think Ruby, did have a fondness for Sam. They were definitely, attached, and, Ruby's entire goal, her entire purpose was to, serve her god, and like Sam was the way she could do that. But I don't know if Meg ever felt the same way about Sam. I think Meg like enjoyed Sam, maybe was like entertained by the Winchesters, but I don't think she ever like had a fondness for Sam like Ruby had. But Sam did really like her, and she did a great job at like connecting with him in that way. And then the betrayal when, you know, Meg is revealed to have been a demon and working for Yellow Eyes the entire time. So Meg and Sam I like as a duo, but I think as like a ship, I don't really quite see it. Like I understand why people would like ship them, obviously. I don't know. For me, it doesn't do it for me. I think they just like, I don't think Meg really cares about Sam specifically at all. I think I'm gonna put them here, I guess. I think I'll put them here because I don't really, like, I like them and I do see it, but just me personally, I don't like see them romantically, and I don't think they're like, they definitely aren't here, and she's definitely not there, and I don't like care enough about them for that, so they're going here. They're going in orange. Okay, Sam X Crowley. What's their name? Samly? Moosely? I've seen Moosely. I think Moosely is really funny. Yeah, Sam and Crowley. I think these two characters, like, have a lot more in common. They're, like, parallel to each other in a lot of ways that I think, like, they sort of fly under the radar a lot, because there's a lot of, like, more obvious, like, Sam parallels and connections in this show. But I think Sam and Crowley are, like, connected in a way that is really interesting, and I think isn't talked about enough. Specifically, I'm thinking, I believe it was during the trials when they had to turn Crowley human using Sam's blood. I think it's really interesting, like, Sam turning a demon human using his blood, but it's also, like, demon bloods, and they're sort of, like, connected through the, like, hell connection, and then Crowley expresses, like, he wants to be loved, and he feels out of place, much like Sam does, and that's why he, like, does what he does. And also his Crowley having, like, an absent and, like, not great mother, like in Rowena, and Sam, of course, having a messed up family himself. And of course, Crowley is really fond of the boys. I think he does really like them. I mean, he gives them the, like, moose and squirrel nicknames, which are iconic. I like the two of them as a duo. Is it crazy if I put them here? Oh no, I don't think, like, in canon, Sam would ever, like, want to or think about it at all. But I think Crowley is very fond of both of the Winchesters. Like, I think Crowley definitely would with either of the boys. I think part of Sam sees himself in Crowley, and I think that's a little part of the reason why he, you know, doesn't like Crowley, aside from, you know, all the other things that he's done to the Winchesters. Yeah, I like Moosely. I think they're fun. I think that I'm getting near the end of this video. I'm running out of things to say. And of course, last but not least, Sam and Lucifer. Samifer. Like, this ship is obviously, like, toxic and dangerous and bad, and that is part of it. In a weird way, the two of them are, like, really dependent on each other. Like, obviously there's the parallels between Sam and Lucifer, like, being cast out by their fathers, and then having this, like, they're destined to, like, fight their brothers, and Sam being, like, doomed to hell through the demon blood and everything, just like Lucifer was. And then the two of them were in the cage together, and Lucifer, like, it's not even, I don't even think it's subtextual. I think, like, within the show, it's very obvious, like, what Lucifer did to Sam in the cage. Like, they don't even really try and hide it. They don't really talk about it a lot, but, like, they make it very obvious in the show what happened in the cage for, like, hundreds of years. But I think their connection, especially when, like, Lucifer first shows up in the show, I think that's my, like, favorite iteration, is, like, future Lucifer when he's in Sam's body, and when Lucifer, like, very first shows up, and when he starts, like, you know, taking the body of Jess and everything. I think that's the most interesting time in their relationship, But again, I really hate this guy so much. He sucks so bad, and he does such, like, terrible things to Sam, and then, like, continues to taunt him, and then, like, continues these, like, abusive, like, aggressive, violent cycles, and what he does to Rowena, and then what he does to Jack in the later seasons. But, like, Sam hallucinating Lucifer is, I think, my favorite arc in the entire show, or at least one of my favorites. It's so good. It sucks that it's buried, like, under all the Leviathan stuff from season 7, because it's just so good. It's so great. I think their connection is, like, so intensely interesting, and there's so much to talk about there, and somehow the two of them keep coming back to each other, because they were, like, destined to be together, like, prophesized. The two of them were always supposed to have a connection. It was always supposed to be Sam. It had to be Sam, no matter how much he doesn't want it. But as like a ship, like something that I actively enjoy and, like, want to see more of. I mean, it's gotta go there. It's gotta go there, right underneath. I feel like all of these are just, like, weird people taking advantage of Sam for their own pleasure. And then also Velma. Like, that's what this bottom row is. But I fear this is the final ranking. If you disagree with me, I don't care. You clicked on this video, know what it is. It's the opinion challenge. That's what tier lists are. But I hope you enjoyed just listening to me talk about all of this for however long this video ends up being. I feel like it's gonna be really long. But thank you for being here. I hope you enjoyed. Like and subscribe so YouTube knows that you enjoyed. And you can see the next one, because I will keep talking about Supernatural, and specifically Sam, because it's my favorite show ever, and he's my favorite character ever. So it's never gonna leave my mind. But thanks for being here. See ya.